These days, people are desperate for a magic solution to a variety of problems: weight loss, quitting smoking, relieving stress. Whatever the malady might be, well, there's no magic pill, but there is another way, an interesting way to deal with problems. And while it may seem a little unorthodox to some, others absolutely swear by it. So as part of our Cool Jobs, Cool People series, we found someone who most definitely qualifies with her career as a certified hypnotist. We welcome Ariel Sherker, who joins me now. Good morning.
Good morning, Tommy.
First of all, Ariel, how does one become a certified hypnotist?
Certification, there are different boards of certification, but it's a process. It's like any other education. You study, you pass an exam, and you put the hours in towards the certification.
Where did you get interested or drawn to hypnotism in the first place?
I've actually been interested in hypnosis since I was a young teenager. I went to see, there was a hypnotist who came to my youth group and did a demonstration, and I was fascinated by the power of the mind, by the phenomenon that took place.
Is it difficult to hypnotize someone?
Actually not. Hypnosis is a very easy process. We live a life where we're so close into hypnosis that bringing somebody into that next level is rather simple.
Now, we're often told, I want to explore some of the myths around hypnosis, that that somebody can't hypnotize you into doing something you don't want.
Absolutely true.
Wait a second. Okay, if that's absolutely true, how come in stage hypnosis you can have somebody being hypnotized into doing something that makes them look absolutely stupid, and they would not want to look absolutely stupid in front of hundreds of people? So they are, in fact, doing something they wouldn't want to do and doing something against their will, aren't they?
Well, first of all, a good stage hypnotist would not make their subjects look stupid. However, people who will go up on stage, when you listen to a stage hypnotist do their banter before a show to the audience, they're inviting people up to be a part of the show. They've already planted a suggestion that they will come up and perform. So not everybody will go up on stage and perform, but when you actually ask the people about it, they wanted to be there. They wanted to be a part of that performance, the center of attention. So it kind of draws on that, and there is a good percentage of the population that enjoy being that.
Are some people more susceptible to hypnosis than others?
Yes, in some respects, some people will go into a much deeper state of hypnosis than others, and much quicker than others, but we're all hypnotizable.
We're going to talk about stage hypnosis in a moment, but I want to talk about the process of going to see a hypnotist for quitting smoking or for weight loss. Take us through the process, for instance, on quitting smoking.
Quitting smoking, often a smoker has a set of ideas that run through their mind. I'll give you an example. It's often easier to talk about cases I've worked with. Often with smokers, I'll have people who will come in and they're in a mindset where to them smoking is the coolest thing possible. And that might have been a mindset that started way back in high school or wherever, but it's ingrained. And it's something that is so believed within them that not smoking would just not be cool. So it's really about going in, changing a thought process, reprogramming the mind to bring somebody into a different level of life, into a different level of thinking, thus a different behavior.
So what would you tell them?
Well, it would depend. Each person is an individual, so it really depends. But I had a client recently who came in and he had been smoking almost all of his life since he was a very young man, and he felt this connection to smoking was his manlyhood. He didn't even hear himself say it, but through pre-talk before the actual session, this is something that I heard him say a few times. So we were able to confront that issue under hypnosis and make him realize that there were other connections to being a man for him. It didn't have to be a cigarette.
So did he realize these connections consciously or subconsciously?
Well, on both levels. It was revealed subconsciously, but brought back to his conscious mind, so that with awareness, he was able to understand the change that was going on.
Can you give him or someone else a post-hypnotic suggestion that says every time you hear the word exercise, you're going to have an overwhelming desire to go down to the gym and work out for an hour. Is that going to work?
Yes, to a certain extent, as long as the post-hypnotic suggestion is actually exercised. The post-hypnotic suggestions, when I work with clients, especially, let's say, a weight loss client, water is such an essential value. We should all be drinking lots of water. So I will use water as a post-hypnotic suggestion. So it's more like every time you drink a glass of water, you will hear yourself say to yourself, I am making a good choice for myself. I am eating a fine breakfast and I'm going to have a wonderful day. So that those suggestions, those post-hypnotic suggestions, are continually brought back to the subconscious. It's all about repetition.
But would that work? The suggestion that when you hear this word, it will cause you to desire to go to the gym. Would that work?
If the decision in that person was to make a change and go to the gym, and it's what they want to do, then yes, absolutely.
They won't be aware of it, like why they have a sudden desire to go to the gym?
They might not be aware of it. They might not. But as long as they're programming themselves to have a good feeling, like it has to be tied to a good feeling too. It's not just I'll go to the gym. It's more like I'll go to the gym and I'll feel great for doing it. There's got to be a reward built into that post-hypnotic suggestion.
So that's what you're saying. If you're the hypnotist, you're telling them every time you hear the word exercise, you're going to have a desire to go down there, and you are going to feel great as you head down there. While you're doing it, you're going to feel fantastic. When it's over, you'll feel even better.
Absolutely.
And that'll work?
That's the way it goes, yes.
I think I'm going to hire you.
Absolutely.
Okay. Right.
I'll leave you my card.
Okay. All right. We're going to continue the discussion. Your questions for my guest, Ariel Sherker. We're talking about hypnotism. David wants to know, if you're very skeptical about hypnosis, can you still be hypnotized?
Yes, absolutely. Hypnosis, David, hypnosis is something you go in and out of hypnosis all day long.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you drive a car, you take a bus, the metro, when you're in transit and you're not in a state where you need your conscious mind, any time that you go into a subconscious place where you're no longer seemingly thinking, you're just doing, that's like a state of hypnosis. Reading a good book, watching a good movie. Anytime you've cried at a movie or laughed at a movie even, it's like you're removed from your conscious thoughts and you're in your subconscious. And it's a wonderful place to be. I mean, we should spend more time there.
Mario has a very interesting text. We're going to continue our interview with Ariel Sherker. She's part of the Cool Jobs, Cool People segment. What can we do for someone who has a fear of heights? Can she help back pain? What about health issues? Does she train people in hypnosis? What about hypnosis as entertainment? Tell me, in a typical scenario when it comes to kicking the smoking habit or weight loss, how many sessions would a person require before they'd completely, if it's smoking, completely kick the habit?
Well, again, it's an individual process, but in my practice, it's one session to change the habit and maybe one or two more sessions to follow up to keep the post-hypnotic suggestions working.
And how long does it last?
A lifetime.
You don't have repeat customers? Once they've done it 2-3 sessions,
I do have repeat customers who come back. They'll stop smoking and then they come back months later and they're like, oh, they want to deal with stress management or pain in their back or such, where they'll come back for something completely different.
Oh, they've got another issue. Okay, we're going to continue our discussion. Somebody wants to know about alcohol. And Mario says, he's got this text question. Listen to this. He says, how can I hypnotize women to make them attracted to me, go out with me?
The Tommy Shnurmacher Show on CJAD 800.
I put a spell on you. Because you're mine.
Ariel Sherker is our guest. She is a certified hypnotist. If you have any questions, give us a call. What about issues like anxiety and OCD?
Yes, both helped with hypnosis. In fact, I want to make mention, anxiety and stress are the leading reasons that people will come to me to seek hypnosis. And it's very useful. I mean, again, it's about reprogramming the mind and managing to to reset the track of the mind. So it certainly helps.
Someone's in your office for an hour. How much is a session?
$100.
So someone's in your office for 1 hour. The suggestions you're implanting in them when they go under, will they be aware of them when they leave your office?
Yes, I create awareness for them. In fact, as soon as I bring them out of hypnosis, we have a very conscious discussion about the suggestions because it helps to keep that programming strong.
Is there anything that you don't tell them about that you implanted in their brain during the session?
No, not necessarily.
You'll say, I gave you a post-hypnotic suggestion.
Right.
Every time you hear the word water, this is going to happen?
Right. Understanding that this is what's going to happen. Although when it's actually happening, they might not have that awareness or memory of it even. It'll just happen naturally. It's almost like, in fact, when I bring them out of hypnosis, they're really still in a state of hypnosis. So it's about repeating the suggestions again.
And what would you tell Mario? He's the one who wants to hypnotize women to make them attracted to him and go out with him.
No, Mario, it doesn't work that way. I could hypnotize you, however. Maybe we could work on your level of romance and confidence to
you'd
sway
hypnotize
women.
Mario. Oh,
yeah.
see.
Let's
Okay.
work on his confidence level, and that'll affect the women that he
Someone
comes
wants to
into
know
contact.
about if mass hypnosis is possible. They want to hypnotize the PQ.
To a certain extent, it is. We'd all
right.
have to stand up together with this.
All right. Another texter says, my 23-year-old son has anger issues. Could you help with that?
Absolutely, but that would require him to want to make the change to really, like hypnosis, it's not a magic pill. It's not like, boom, I can come in and change somebody's issues. They have to want it. So that would be the only prerequisite there.
Another texter has to wear a mouthpiece, wants to know if you can help to stop grinding teeth.
Yes. In fact, I recently had a client that I helped with snoring, which would be along the same lines.
Can you record the sessions?
Yes, and I do. What I ask people to do, everybody has an iPhone, a smartphone that they can record their own sessions on, and I'm open to allowing them to record.
Matt wants to know if it works on someone who's hopeless.
In what way? Nobody's hopeless.
No one's
We've
hopeless.
all got hope.
I don't know what Matt means with that.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about fear of heights. Would that work? Hypnosis
yes,
work on that as
hypnosis.
well? And you're saying one or two sessions is what it would take?
Yes, for the average. I mean, when it comes to addiction, then I recommend a couple of follow-up sessions. And a stronger addiction, you brought up alcohol before, that I would recommend a continual sessions or any drug addictions and such.
For post-traumatic stress syndrome, a car accident in this case, how many sessions would be needed? One session.
And I've worked with that before, plenty.
And alcohol, you mentioned that would take, because it's an addiction, it's longer?
It's an addiction, and it's a very physical addiction, so I really, get them to come back for a couple of good follow-up sessions.
What about someone who doesn't have any health or anxiety issues? What can hypnosis do for the average person? Does it have any benefits for someone who doesn't have a particular issue?
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's a relaxing state to be in. I mean, it's I'm trying to think of anyone I know who doesn't have an issue in life. I mean, if we put a little thought into it, we've all got something we would like to change.
What's the success rate?
I want to say about 90%.
Really?
Yeah.
And which are the 10% where it won't work? What causes that?
The 10% might be, sometimes I'll have someone who comes in, let's say, to lose weight, not because they want to lose weight, but maybe their doctor wanted them to lose weight, or their husband or wife or partner wanted them to lose weight. So for them, it might not work. It's about really...
Because they don't really want to do it.
Because they don't want to do it.
Uh-huh.
And I question people before they come in, whether by email or phone, to really make sure that they're on track with change.
Kevin wants to know how long it takes to become a certified hypnotist. We'll have the answer to that question. That's next. Your questions for hypnotist Ariel Sherker, 514-790-0800. Let's go to Robert on the line with a question. Robert, good morning.
Good morning, Tom. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. My question is fear of success. Can she help me with that?
Yeah, I mean, we'd have to analyze where that fear comes from. And I'm glad that you bring up the topic of success, because as we're in the new year right now, And, a lot of people set out on New Year's resolutions. And unfortunately, in our society, the level of non-success is much too high. I'm really working with clients this year to create success that they can maintain, success that they can handle. And sometimes what it requires is breaking the success down to smaller levels, smaller issues at a time.
This texter wants to know if it can help with a gambling problem.
Yes. Gambling is an issue. It's an addiction like any other addiction, and hypnosis works with all addictions.
Kevin wants to know how long it takes to become a certified hypnotist.
Well, I offer a course here in Montreal, and it's an 8-day intensive course, but I run it on Saturdays and Sundays for 4 consecutive weekends. So my next course is actually starting January 18th, although it is just about full. So I have another course coming March 1st.
Lewis wants to know if you've ever worked with UFO abductees.
No, I haven't.
Okay. Can it be used on children to overcome ADD, for example?
Yes. I mean, in my practice, I start with 13 and up as an age. I find that younger children, it works on a different level. I wouldn't necessarily bring them into a trance, but I use waking hypnosis.
Harriet on the line with a question. Go ahead.
Hi. I have extreme sleep apnea, and I assume that when you're being hypnotized, you may have to lie down or recline during the process, and I was wondering if that would make being hypnotized difficult.
Actually, we even hypnotize people. Like if you think of stage hypnosis, we hypnotize people standing up as well. So you wouldn't have to lie down. And hypnosis, the state itself, is not like the same sleep that you do at night. So the apnea would not be affected.
Thank you very much. This texter wants to know about, they just tuned in late about the success rate for smoking. Is it the same? The 90%, the same issue about if they want to, if they really want to quit?
Absolutely. They have to want it for the right intentions for themselves.
A pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for joining us, Ariel Sherker. One last question quickly. Tinnitus, ringing in the ears, does it work on that too?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Well, gee, seems to
you
work
name
for
it. Everyday issues.
All right. Thank you, Ariel.